This is definitely Maine. Without a doubt.
Sometimes things happen fast. Just a day or two ago, I was sitting at home wondering what the next work week entailed for me in trying to plan out the jobs and the tasks that would have to happen. But then I get a phone call that changes everything. Brian and Kim called and asked if I would like to help move Nara from where she had been the last few months in Maine, Boothbay, Maine, down to the closest thing to a home port, Annapolis. Beautiful, almost autumn morning. Certainly a lot cooler than what I had been used to sitting back home in Blue Springs.
I don't remember. It did work pretty.
I think you use that.
I was ushered into the boat and shown where my accommodations would be. This is up front of the boat in what they call the V berths, V as in victory. In addition to having your fairly private room up here, your own head. This is wonderful. Shower, sink, life couldn't get a lot better than this. Naturally, Nara has everything you need for an extended voyage. This compact and very efficient kitchen is a wonder in ergonomic design.
Our tour from yesterday, we kind of stopped here with the galley and showed what it was like up in the cockpit. But remember, the cockpit is not at the back of the boat. In here, we have the navigation area. Keep coming back and you have the master suite. No, I'm not going to turn the camera sideways, even though that might be a good idea. Master suite. Master bath. Quite a bit of space. I mean, the cockpit's actually, it's hard to describe. But I'm sitting down in the chair, going up, and now I'm shooting. That's the cockpit up there. So straight up here is a hatch in the back, the stern of the boat. So anyway, I hope that helps get orientation.
Just spray away, just something I use on that.
Really? I probably would just back here.
Here's a screenshot of the navigation chart after we were well into the journey, but you can see the route that we had taken from up north at Boothbay Harbor down to Cape Cod Canal, basically where the red triangle is.
Lobster trap slalom. And when dawn comes, we are right there on schedule at the Cape Cod Canal with a wonderful 3-knot current pushing us through the canal just as Kim had planned.
On the other side, we pulled into Onset Bay and walked back on dry land. The next day, we were off to Cutty Hunk Island, just a bit off of Martha's Vineyard, and right along the way.
You can see that fog rolling in from just the few minutes that we've been here. I mean, north wind, north wind, north wind, east wind. And it just ended, and it moved quick. There's where we came in. Seems like it's a fairly tight mooring field.
We nailed our landing.
And we
Perfect
nailed the
10.
perfect 10 on the... I didn't think we were going to bend it. But nope. Pulled in and stopped on a dime. I think he's going to that one. I hate to cut away. Because whatever's going to happen.
The $10,000 winner.
That's right. I seem to have it under control, but if they overshoot, somebody's going to have a flat dinghy. Flat dinghy, that's the new euphemism.
Oh, look at that. They're going to nail their landing also.
I think they got it. No danger, no danger or drama here. You know the line. You know the line you gotta say right now.
The little boat!
Cutty Hunk Island is a part of the state of Maine, and it's surprising just how many of these little islands dot the coastline. Cutty Hunk is a summer island with virtually no one living there throughout the winter months, and as this was getting towards the end of season, we could see that things were starting to wind down a little bit, but it had wonderful views. And you can see there where the boats are all hurrying in at the end of the day to get one of the coveted moorings out there in that field. For our part, we found a pretty good pizza place that was set up in somebody's front yard and just had a wonderful evening. The next day hop was just another 29 miles or so down to Block Island, and we started to encounter fog for the first time. Today's a little bit rolly, and the fog moves in, and with the fog usually comes an increasing amount of traffic, but it happens.
This is Block Island, and it is full. Full. So we are investigating options at this point.
20 miles. Well, can we put it in overdrive and try to go, or do you want to do it camping?
After evaluating all the options, in the end we decided it was probably best just to stay put. It's always a little anxious in a crowded anchoring field. You hope that your neighbors are taking as good of care of anchoring their boats as you did your own. As the evening progressed, the pirate ship gathered more and more partygoers, but nothing exciting happened and no good stories came from it, so oh well. And this fog was even thicker. We had to keep our eyes peeled because the traffic was out there, We just couldn't see it. I became a bit more proficient with radar that day, but in the end, the sun broke through.
So here we are, made anchorage at Orient, Long Island. I know this doesn't look very exciting, you know, nice sandbar out there, but that's the Gardner Bay on the other side of that little sandbar behind me. And then as I keep spinning, that's further down Long Island. I don't know, the bay that's in the island itself. And then more back towards the mainland. But anyway, fun stuff. As soon as we drop the anchor, well, it's also 80 plus degrees here and a lot warmer than any place it's been so far. So less than 5 minutes elapsed from the anchor hitting the bottom before we were in the water. It got a little steamy just walking around opening all the vents in the boat. And then had to go find the anchor, so I got some video of following the anchor chain down to find the anchor. So then we cleaned the boat because you got to do that every now and then from underneath. So once over lightly, and when you get done with that job, you just throw those rags away. But you don't keep that. Anyway, that's today.
Couldn't see him at all. As soon as he went down, he disappeared.
Hit my head out front, and the ground came up fast.
Yeah.
I thought. Right on a little crab. Just scared the crap out of him. He's only about this big though.
Mission accomplished. Would have been real embarrassing if I couldn't find an anchor in 10 feet of water. Now I'm going to go try to get another shot of that prop, see what we can see.
Down the street, the blue is calling for me. I grab the breeze of the cup and run. A day and a week of flash in the sun. Chicken, flooding, Shangri-La for two. The future's all we make of it. No one out here gives a shit. Checking out of into the blue. A moment is all it takes. I've got to get out. I gotta break through this black or I'm gonna shout. Deep down inside I know what I need. Right down the road the blue is calling to me. Grab the queens and out we run. A day and a week is a flash in the sun. Chicken floating Shangri-La for two.
One more day hop would take us to Port Jefferson, Long Island. Here you can see the navigation charts and the ever-important Jolly Rancher cinnamons that keep us all going. We called ahead and got a mooring. It was, of course, right on the other side of this ferry boat. So this becomes one of those times when you just sit back, relax, and let events unfold at the pace at which events are going to unfold. There's no point in pushing. There's no sense in hurrying. There's no sense in trying to move things that aren't going to be moved.
Let's see, Brian's pointing right over there.
This marked the end of my leg of the journey with Nara for this time. So we went into town to find the best place for burgers and beers, enjoyed a night on the town, walked around, found the ice cream shop, and headed back later in the evening.